The United States did not carry out airstrikes on Iran overnight between Saturday and Sunday, marking a pause in a conflict that is nearing its fifth month. According to the report, the pause has raised hopes of a return to negotiations after nearly 2 weeks of consecutive nightly U.S. bombardments. U.S. media also reported that concerns over dwindling supplies of Patriot interceptors and other defensive weapons may be limiting plans for further escalation. The fighting, which began around the Strait of Hormuz, expanded to include attacks on U.S. bases, regional shipping and Gulf allies. Despite President Donald Trump threatening a much higher level of strikes on Friday, CNN reported, citing an unidentified Pentagon source, that U.S. operations against Iran were on a hold. The New York Times, citing 2 people briefed on the matter, reported that plans to escalate the campaign had been shelved in part because of shrinking munitions supplies. The newspaper also said Trump faces the risk of a wider Middle East war, strained relations with Gulf allies and further shocks to the global economy. CNN reported that Vice President J.D. Vance and top U.S. General Dan Kane raised concerns about escalation during a White House meeting on Friday. According to the network, Kane told Trump the military could carry out available options successfully but warned of the possible implications. Speaking to reporters on Friday, Trump said he had not decided whether to resume a full-scale operation. He said, "We're talking to them right now. I think they're getting more and more serious." Trump added that Iran faced a choice between reaching a deal or facing strikes at a much higher level.
Look, we're talking to them right now. I think they're getting more and more serious as the days go by, for maybe the obvious reason. But we are talking to them right now. Look, there are 2 ways. I consider that the smarter way, but the other is probably the easier way, doing what we're doing. And we can take that to a much higher level if we want to. You know, we're prepared to do that, as you know. We're locked and loaded. We're locked and loaded and ready to go, but we're talking to them. So I think while we're talking, we'll see what comes of it.
And when you say, just a quick follow-up.
I believe, Jeff, they're very serious. They should be.
The report noted that the war, which Trump had previously predicted would last 4 or 5 weeks, is now approaching its 5th month and is weighing on his approval ratings ahead of the U.S. midterm elections in November. Axios reported that the Pentagon had presented Trump with a plan for a 14th night of strikes, but he declined to authorize it in favor of pursuing talks. Meanwhile, the conflict spread to another front. Yemen's Houthi rebels said they struck Saudi Aramco sites in Jizan and Yanbu on Saturday, a day after Saudi Arabia bombed Houthi targets. The Greek Air Force media office said a surface-to-air battery operated by Greek personnel in Saudi Arabia intercepted 2 ballistic missiles and a drone over Yanbu. Iran's Revolutionary Guards said they stopped 4 ships attempting to transit the Strait of Hormuz within 24 hours. The report said Tehran's effective blockade of the waterway remains the central flashpoint with Washington. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran could not be blamed for the escalation and offered to broker talks between the Houthis and Saudi Arabia, saying there was no military solution.